Yeah. So welcome everyone to Game Over Books Queer Poetry Showcase featuring Myles, Liv Mammone. I hope I pronounced her name correctly. Yeah. Excellent. And Matteo, Alexice. My name is Greg Newton. I am the co-founder of the Bureau of General Services Queer Division, along with my partner, Don Jokum. And we're being helped out tonight by our volunteer, Kevin. That's how we do it here. Volunteers and book sales keep this baby alive. Donations as well, which you're welcome to make if you're online. You can do it through Venmo at BGSQD. But for those of you here, I will just encourage you to buy books. But if you'd like to give a donation, you can give it through Venmo, or you can just hand it to us at the register. We take money. That's what we accept. So the Bureau is an all-volunteer queer bookstore that has been in existence since 2012 and here at the center since 2015. Our regular bookstore hours are Wednesdays through Sundays from 1 to 7 p.m. And then we often stay open late when we have events such as this. And if you're not already on our email list and you would like to be, you can sign up for that at the back of the room or on our website, which is bgsqd.com. And before I bring Myles up here, I wanted to read a land acknowledgement and a call for a ceasefire. So the Bureau acknowledges that our organization operates on the unceded land of the Munsee Lenape. We encourage you to join the Bureau in signing up to make a monthly donation to the American Indian Community Houses Mannahatta Fund. The Mannahatta Fund, according to its website, is an invitation to all settlers and non-native people who wish to acknowledge the legacy of theft and genocide that comprise the history of New York City and the United States. And you can find out more at mannahattafund.org. We also want to recognize that today, March 28th, is the 174th day of Israel's genocidal campaign against the Palestinian people, funded by our tax dollars and enabled by our government's unwavering support. We hope that you will join us in calling for an immediate, permanent ceasefire, an end to the siege, and an end to the occupation in order to stop the collective punishment of Palestinians and to ensure the swift delivery of much needed food, water, medicine, fuel, and medical aid to the people of Gaza. And now, please give a warm welcome to Myles Taylor.
All right, folks. Thank you to everybody who's here. My name is Myles Taylor. I use they, and pronouns. I am the curator of the Boston Poetry Slam at the Cantab Lounge. It is the third oldest poetry slam in the country. We've been going every Wednesday night since 1992. And I put together this little reading in New York to read with some New York friends and pressmates. So I have my book here, my pressmates have their books, and we're going to be reading from them and then selling them at the beautiful center. Please support the work that they do because it is necessary. And I love this space so much. I haven't been here like 8 years. And I know, and I love this place so much. So many of the events I've been here have been so welcoming and sweet and kind. So we are going to start with Maya, and it is their official book release day, correct? It is literally their book release day, which is crazy. So please give them lots of support and love, and please buy that book. I'm super freaking excited about it personally. I'm going to read the bio, and then you're going to hear some poems from them. Maya Matteo Alexice is a non-binary Black and white graduate of the Rutgers Newark MFA. Their poems can be found in or are forthcoming in publications such as Pleiades, Black Warrior Review, Copper Nickel, Hayden's Ferry Review, the Bennington Review, Barrel House. That's some serious shit here, guys. That's not easy. Underblown, I'm in that one. And elsewhere, they were the runner-up in the 2023 Black Warrior Review Poetry Contest, judged by Gary Soto. Their debut poetry collection, A Shape We've Yet to Name, is forthcoming. Nope, it's not forthcoming. It's here. It's here. Their forthcoming collection is here. From Game Over Books today, right now. They enjoy video games where you can make the characters kiss. Please give it up for Maya.
That's so bad that Max even knows the end of my bio. It's just so, that reminded me about the poem that won that, or not poem, I'm rewriting history. The poem that got second place in that, I was like, oh, actually, I have that and I should read that. First, though, I'm going to start off. I wanted to read. First of all, thank you to my partner for saying it's okay to read these grief poems, not an X. Support. And I wanted to do it because it was a very gay relationship where I felt a lot of feelings and wrote a lot of poems about it. And, you know, I just feel like that's kind of inherently gay. And so I was like at the center, a place where I really love historically. I work in the West Village. And so I'm thinking a lot about, I think a lot constantly about sort of the legacy, the historical legacy of that area, the good and the bad. And the center has been a force of good. And yeah, so I'm just really honored to be here. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. And this book, so it's so cute and amazing. I love it so much. I'm just really happy to be here. Okay, so I'm gonna read these, start off sad, reading these like sad brief poems. The first one is a poem I wrote in March 2022, which was just a crush poem. And I workshopped it in workshop, which is like really obnoxious. They weren't in the workshop, it was fine. But it was just like, and everyone was like, okay, this, you're down bad, just like tell me. Like, so that's this one. Yearning in full bloom. Not in love with you, but could be something else. We joke about flirting, and I can't tell who's really joking. I have dreams where we kiss and nothing more. I know I crush too easily, am crushed too easily, a palm full of fruit bruised by a desperate hand, not in love with you, but wonder what we should call it. You share about those who wronged you, and wrath flowers in me like new teeth. Hurts me to think of those who might hurt you. Happy you have someone, but wonder if there's room for a kiss in the hollow of your neck one drunk evening. Wonder if there's space for a tryst. We could forget about it the next day if you'd like. It would be an honor to ache for you, to be tender from you. I'd happily be crushed by you, under you, because of you. Let me. So I was my own back. I was, and then we broke up, and so that's this one, which is the first time I'm reading out loud. So thank you for sharing the space and acknowledging my gay little hurt feelings. Yearning in full bloom reprise. Still not in love with you. But all those near love feelings and their crowned shyness were so sweet. Before you, I knew I could touch someone who wasn't a man and like it, but I didn't know I could cherish one. To this day, you are the only person who never had to work really hard to make me come. It was always easy to be beckoned by you, to be sought by your eyes in a half-lit room. You said our pasts had begun to bristle against each other, that the freshness of my 15th year ignited the things that you write about in your poems too, that maybe we weren't good for each other. I wish I had been able to fight for a version of us that didn't hurt so much. But I made myself reread the first poem and remember that I asked for this. I asked to be crushed by you, and it was still an honor. It was still an act of care you gave me, even if it didn't feel careful. You asked for a letting go, and I answered. It was like when, after our first time, you asked me if I felt safe. And I thought, no, an invisible killer still stalks us, and no remnants of my past still mildew in me, and no, any moment could be a penultimate moment, and wait, actually, let me retell that story. You asked me if I felt safe, and I realized I'd never been asked that before at all. And the answer came easily because I could never say no to you. Our tryst happened in the space between the first poem and this one. I told you of my crush, and we kissed in a dying grove. No one came to get us when the graveyard closed for the afternoon. And we were caught momentarily in stasis. I'm sorry I didn't check what time it closed. I'm sorry I didn't check for what might have caged us in. I do have a poem about keeping head, and I'm like, I can't follow it up with that. Maybe I should, okay.
Nice.
Inspired by, I shouldn't say that, inspired by something someone maybe told me, which is that I give head like a gay man, and that they gave me the gender euphoria that I always wanted.
Nice.
And so this poem is called Arousal is Just a Gasp Misplaced in the Body. And yeah. He tells me I give head like how men give head to men. My cheeks bloom red, knowing my desires are so clearly written in tongue. Strange words to give head. Here is my skull. Take it. Pull me toward the hilt as much as you'd like. Call me sword swallower. I promise what has been a weapon historically is not a weapon in this mouth. Watch as I disarm an organ with my teeth. I take and I give head, I offer skull, I yield until my breath is trapped around a tender part and I realize arousal is just a gasp misplaced in the body. I've scared the hiccups out of me. I've made myself stutter. I'm coming upon an epiphany. You're no longer wielding a lethal blade. You're a ruinous truth after dark. The space before I tell a secret. The thing before the first divine word, a song, a hum, an exhale. I make you breathe steam like a hot faucet, like a coal guzzling train, like a ghost and someone startled in delight. An untamed spasm emerges in my diaphragm, a convulsion in this sex-haunted vessel, a boy body revelation. Tell me, if I add up all the little deaths, will I reach oblivion or a perfect moment where identity goes to die? Arousal is a gasp misplaced, and this wayward breath furls and unfurls and curls like an answer to this question of sex and sex that I can't stop asking. Okay. Okay, I will just read. We'll see what I'm gonna do. We'll figure out what's going on. Okay, this is the one that got second place in that contest, and now I was just like inspired, like, oh, I'm gonna read it. And okay, it's called Another Name for John. Or I try to write a poem about adoption without telling a lie. And I guess I just wanted to preface it by saying, like, people who adopt are cool. That's really cool. I think I'm very conflicted on the fact that, like, in a perfect world, a lot of people might not want to adopt. Like, if they had access to healthcare for an addiction and could take care of a child, or if they had unlimited money, all those things. But I really want to adopt, and so it's like, this is what that poem's about. It's very difficult to think about, but yeah. Temur and I pass baby names back and forth on the couch. I always settle on Yahya. Something about the way the breaths start and stop between the syllables. But Tao reminds me it's just another name for John. It's the Arabized version of John. He knows names are important, that names thumb the clay of a person from birth. Knows that John doesn't feel right on our tongues. Too bland, too biblical. But it isn't John. A friend challenges me at dinner. It's a completely different word. Yet some part of me marks its essence inescapable. Temur and I are going to adopt, or in other words, facilitate the transfer of a choiceless baby from their parent. Profit off a decision that doesn't occur in a vacuum. In the actual vacuum of space, I know nothing is made, nothing lost. But what is adoption but theft, or more generous, a borrowing of years that can't be returned? Who's to say in a world of universal childcare and living wages that the same choice would be made, the same surrender? In most cases, I think adoption is taking in a way that can't be reworded to sound prettier without dilution. It isn't a saving or a replacement. It's a leaving that leaves a wound. Not one that I bladed, but one that exists nonetheless, coerced perhaps by circumstance, by lack, by trauma tenfold. If I were truly good, I would simply give to some fund, boy a parent who otherwise wouldn't let go. But that's only one, I think, one baby that might live an untangled beginning. There will always be babies and people who want them. White parents will change the name to something pale and edible. White parents will straighten curls and shield from truth and divorce from origin. I think I could be better than them. I could take as gently as the world will let me, or I could end up just like them. This whole thing could be corrupt, its essence inescapable in a world built on money. If I were truly good, I would bite the bullet and have a child myself. But in truth, I am weak. Too disturbed by bringing someone into a time that might crumble from societal sin, too horrified at being clocked female by all who witness my baby bump, another essence I keep trying to outrun. The strangers and their belly grazing would light me on fire. The cooing and the gendering would eat me alive. I endeavor to write this poem without telling a lie, so I must steal because I cannot make one myself.
Mm.
It would kill me. It probably wouldn't. I don't want to try. As of this writing, I still want to adopt that other name for taking. I think I still will. I'll try my best using only the words that I have. And one day I'll tell Yahya that a cruel world is the reason you sit in my lap, on the edge of what comes to be. A cruel world took away choices and it gave me you who are not John and somehow still are, me a thief, me who is yours still. I say, Yahya, I took advantage of a broken system. I would do it again just to meet you twice.
Wow.
And like, how are I'll just do 2 more from the book. I don't do that. And one of the people who I know here take a picture of me. Sorry, give that, please. Yay, okay. You do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, this first one is a call and response poem. So we're gonna try, right? All you need to do is when I point to the crowd, if you guys could say a boy. So let's try.
A boy.
Thank you. Okay. It's called reverse etymology. And it's about my name. What do you say? Okay, it's about my name. Because at birth I was not named
A boy.
I was named Maya and rendered highly flammable. Some time ago it meant beloved in Greek. But had I been born
A boy.
I would have been named Matteo. My mother lets me know. Could have rhymed with lay low, with they owe, with they know, sort of, I'm reaching. This boy could have seen the world from the underside of a fishbowl. He never would have been called crazy, or if he were, would have been the romantic kind, the poetry kind, not a kerosene lamp with a fraying wick. Matteo sounds like a boy who never left the womb, still perfect and in working condition, platonic masterpiece son. When my lips form your syllables, I round the ending O like jubilation and like jubilation and joy. I swallow my skin into yours using a cerebral tongue. You taste like silk reeled from synthetic worms. Matteo, our names would make unbreakable names for twins. And I'll finish up. Which one do I?
You're at 12 minutes.
All right, I'll do one dumb gay poly poem.
Yeah.
And I'll finish with one. Okay. This is called polycule limerence, or reading poets is like we would know. It's like knowing we would write about each other eventually. It's after Major Jackson's OK Cupid. Dating a poet was like dating the moon, and dating the moon was like dating a werewolf, and dating a werewolf was like dating a metaphor, and dating a metaphor was like dating an answer, and dating an answer was like dating a Leo, and dating a Leo was like dating an academic, and dating an academic is like dating circles around what he actually means to say, and dating what he actually means to say is like dating an E minor chord, and dating an E minor chord is like dating a vowel, and dating a vowel is like dating the summer, and dating the summer is like dating the past. And dating the past is like cheating on the present tense. And being faithful to the future is like marrying my best friend. And marrying my best friend is like a choice I make every day, a deliberate rewind and replay eternal. Marrying my best friend is like marrying a habitual verb. I do, I be, we are. Marrying my best friend is like asking him to be hurt so that we can grow and mushroom anew together. Is like hurting him on purpose, is like hurting him with permission. Is like knowing we hurt each other like the kind that breaks and reknits muscles, the bloodletting that happens when I confess I'd like to date my friend. Because dating my friend is like dating a lost star. And dating a lost star is like dating a poem I'd never thought I'd read out loud. And dating a poem I never thought I'd read out loud is like dating the opposite of a secret. And dating the opposite of a secret isn't always easy, but it was always easy dating her. And dating her isn't like dating them, and it isn't like dating him, but it's always like dating a part of myself. And dating myself is like dating an insecure attachment style. And dating myself is like dating the friend's father who took away my 15th year, and the teacher who took away my 16th. And dating myself is like dating a monster who has done bad to feel good sometimes. And dating myself is believing, actually truly believing that despite it all, I deserve to be dated because dating myself is also dating my hips. And dating my hips is like dating a ride or die. Dating a ride or die is like dating all the times I tried to die and emerged victorious. And dating all the times I died is like dating an animal who shows you the soft pink of their belly, despite how quickly you could gut them. And dating my belly is like dating the universe. And dating the universe is like not knowing what comes next, but leaning in for a kiss anyway.
Wow.
All right, and I'm just gonna finish up with another gay poem. I don't think I ever wasn't doing gay shit. And this poem has the name of my book, and it's where the name of my book comes from, which is fun. But it was literally inspired by a pun, which is that I, in my head, somehow came up with the phrase, all quiet on this chest turned front, like all quiet on the Western front. And I was like, well, that has to be a thing. And so this is where we are now. So no one recognizes the pun, and so I have to say it. Okay. It's called My Torso and All Its Divine Incarnations. All quiet on this chest turned front. Here fleshy, there taut, curves in their meanings not born, but taught. Arms raised above my head flattens my breast to an androgynous ovoid crest. My jaw, if turned at the right point, could be a knife edge and not just a keeper of bones. The circumference of his hands can fit around my meridian waist. Here, rounded, there, hard, I'm a blouse turned inside out. Raised edges along the seams, a revolt in so many words. They teach us to draw women with circles and men with squares. Draw me with a shape we've yet to name. My body is prelapsarian, blushing fruit left unplucked. There are no names here, no atom to category and classify. This body is Leviathan, yawning with rows and rows of waiting teeth. Did you know that half of us are made of alien microbes, sister sons of the Big Bang immortal? Wade into my tide pool as coral gnaws at the sides. I'm sentiment and sediment and psychosis in a gut. I'm a fraction of a limitless whole. Myself, when wielded, tapers to a find point. Small and precise, yet somehow I take up an entire room. Thank you, everyone. Should I stay up here and introduce you?
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. No, that's cute. That's cute.
Okay, but I still have to get my thought.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm introducing Myles. I was just thinking about how it's always really funny when you are like doing introduction to someone you've never met before this day. I'm always like really excited when someone else does it for me, so I hope this works. All I wanted to say is that I feel like your vibes were calling to me from Instagram. I was just like, I haven't met this person in person, but I just feel like based on the vibes, it's gonna be good. And it's happening. It's happening. And I'm really excited. Thank you so much for putting this together. And yeah, I don't know. It's just been really great. I really like that we can all sort of come together from a game over, despite having never met each other before. It's really fun. Yeah, okay, so wait. Myles Taylor is a transmasculine writer, organizer, educator, food service worker, Capricorn Aquarius cusp, and glitter enthusiast. They are the current producer of the historic Boston Poetry Slam at the Cantab Lounge, former president and alum of the Emerson Poetry Project. They have represented Boston and Emerson College at the National Poetry Slam, Famous Tournament, Cup C, and others, have been performing internationally for over 8 years. Their various publications and performance videos can be found at myles-taylor.com. And their neuroses can be found on social media at Myles Does Poems. They live amongst the rats of Allston, Massachusetts. Masculinity Parable, Game Over Books 2023 is their first full-length collection. Myles, yeah.
Thanks, Mel. I am recovering from bronchitis, so I'm doing my best voice-wise. So I'm probably not going to do any of the big hits tonight, but that's okay. This is the baby. She's how old? For 3 months, 4 months, 3 months or 3 or 4 months. Yeah, I don't know the age of my own children. That's fine. It's so normal. I'm gonna start with the first poem in the book, as I like to do, because I like the idea of introducing yourself with the thing that you are not. There's a poem entirely made of lies. I was the bad boy in school, necked in shoplifted silver and drugstore nails. Watched horror flicks under bad fleece. Started smoking in high school until I got smart. I get smarter as I age and know it. I do something feminine and a chorus calls it big dick energy. I hang out at the local guitar shop. The cashier learns my name and talks shop with me. Every time I'm good at a thing, I am told I could pursue it. I don't want to though. I don't take myself too seriously. I joined a dating app to find other people who don't take themselves too seriously. I go to a campus bar with a fake ID and laugh a lot. I bar hop under the stars. I know all of their names. On my way home, I see a poster of a shirtless man in a motorcycle jacket, and I go outside shirtless with a motorcycle. My dad loves how much I look like him and hates how much I talk like him and worries how much I act like him. My dad grows as he ages, expands until he spindles like a redwood tree, and then from above he calls me my name and then just says something about basketball. Yeah, I was born with a God that I could grow out of. Like I have this dream where the shirtless man in a motorcycle jacket is in the mirror. He opens the mirror like a car door and puts his hand on my sternum. His hand breaks through and my chest spills sprouts of purple orchids. I run away trailing flower petals and wedding processions begin to follow me. Two brides follow the same path of petals and collide. I empty of flowers until I'm light as a feather. I blow away happily. I have another dream where the shirtless model is in front of me. He puts his hand on my sternum. I tell him I can't feel anything, and he knows. His hand is on someone else's body. I wake up without a body. I wake up a man. I wake up just thinking about breakfast. I remember why I wrote it. I remember why I wrote it. This poem never turns. I spend money without budgeting for future medical bills. My chest is covered in tattoos of orchids. I do not worry about butchering. I don't go by a nickname anymore. I use a public bathroom. I see myself in the mirror. I don't have to make things true. I never. I always. I just do. I'm too handy for that. Okay. Yeah, so the general vibe of this book, the book orbits like the concept of a non-toxic masculinity, whether that is possible, whether that's a thing that exists, whether that's a thing that we need to build, which I think is the thing that we're all actively building as queer people, especially trans masculine people. I think being able to build a new manhood and sort of represent that for other people is a very special task. And I think the structure of the book, the first part is, oh fuck, I want to go on testosterone. All right, fine, let's do this. The second part is like second puberty, like, okay, I'm horny and angry all the time. And then the third part is, okay, I pass as a man. What do I do about that? Like now what? Like why, like how do I use that in the world in a way that benefits others and that is not just doing the same shit over and over. Cool. I'm gonna do this one. This one is after the national. I don't know if y'all are sad. Good. Yeah, good. It's not highlighted. Gender and desirability are not the same, but they attend the same terrible house parties. Perhaps play kings and pretend they're having fun, being personified the way I do when others talk about body language and signals. I don't know what it is to be desirable because I don't know anything other than desire. I just want. My gender is negative space around a want I can't even make out the shape of sometimes, a smoked line, a Microsoft Paint level gradient. I'm trained in figure drawing, you know. A pencil is a shitty reference point unless it's the only thing you're holding. Sometimes my cat screams at nothing for hours. We do everything he asks of us and nothing will satisfy his cursed wails. I wish I could express myself in a similar fashion, but I think somebody would probably call an emergency service. I fantasize about loss of control and like maybe trying bondage one day. And then I put on a weighted blanket one time and lost my shit. I like the idea of everything, but everything in practice is terrible. Except any night I have company that can talk as fast as me or the moment I'm eating a very good meal. I want so much more than other bodies, but one feels more doable than the others. in theory. In practice, relinquishing control is deciding my body and mind are not worthy of their time. This is the only self-love I figured out how to employ other than a face mask. Every time I get hungry, I feel like the world is going to end. I am in control of everything I do. I just make a point of being stupid sometimes to allow myself a wider range of options. I only want to die when I'm holding in a feeling or putting thoughts in other people's minds. I never promised to be reasonable. Get this thing off of me. Yeah, okay. One more funny trans one, then I'll actually this was published in a journal called the Dilly Down Review, which sounds so fake. And I was like talking to someone about this poem, and I told them to look it up, and they were like, "What? It doesn't exist." And the journal was just fucking gone. Like it just flowed like all the like this happens so often. What's happening? What's happening to the literary world? It's so sad. Okay, if God gave a fuck about trans people, they would have just made us crabs. Or some other creature with transient body. Often I look in the mirror and I think, I want this one to live on, right? But not with me inside. Like a donation cusping the crest of a tiny wave that may display it for a test run. I admit, I like my birth name. Catchy for somebody else. My figure is a pretty thing to waste. The gender therapist descriptions talk about finding who you really are. I think I'm a few different people. I email them anyway. I say, if I could leave my titties on the side of a beach for some beautiful woman who needs to discover, I think it'd be more of a capital C community. Just saying. I don't think God is taking notes, but it would be really cool if they were. I want a lineup of striped shells. I want to shout into each and pick the best echo, like the voice wailing the tune that makes me cry in front of the Uber driver. I keep busy so a therapist can't disappoint me. I don't want to have my body changed. I want to leave it for someone else to find. Okay. Again, I'm skipping like the really intense ones because my voice is not happy with me. We just had our team selection last night at the Boston Poetry Slam, which is like selecting which is the biggest show of the year for us. And I've been doing a lot of shouting. Our team is fantastic this year, by the way, just in case you're wondering. I'm gonna do the first poem in the second portion now. All of these are fucking stupid, silly gay poems so far. I swear I write serious poems. I'll do some serious ones later. This summer has the potential to be miraculous, which might just be the whiskey milkshake talking, but the sky is stupid with its sunset, the most universal symbol of beauty. No human is too good to wax poetic about an orange pink cloud. Not even the suited and citied and sidewalks. You can't pass the Charles in his new dress without smiling and missing your stop. So I'm a nature bitch now. I'm in a lover's quarrel with the Prudential Center. I got eyes like a real man and the stores closed too early to catch me. I walk past the fat dandelions on my way home and don't even check which handmade structures wound up penthouses for rats. I know like 100 people with jackets and most of them love me. My dad is always sending me pictures and clouds, so I sent him weird band names off the Alston streets and neither of us talk about feelings. A bug, like the looks of my phone screen while I wrote this, I told her she was looking at the wrong kind of light. Something important about this book is that it's very much takes place in my neighborhood, which is Alston, Massachusetts. It's a neighborhood of Boston with a lot of like punk venues, a lot of like dive bars. It's being very slowly gentrified by Harvard University's encroachment on it, which is very classic. But I feel very passionately about Alston, and a lot of these poems very much have Alston flavor in them. Okay, let's try this one. I like doing this one for New York people because you know what I'm talking about. I grew up in North Jersey. I'm still kind of connected. My mom's still in the city, and I spent a lot of time around here. But I hate the mayor right now, which I know is not a hot take. But this poem, I wrote this poem after hearing Eric Adams give a speech trying to convince service workers to go back to work like in the pandemic when it was like obviously not safe. And he said, this is close to being a direct quote. Oh yes, those shoe shiners, those Dunkin' Donuts employees, they don't have the intelligence to work in a corner office. Which is insane, an insane thing to say out loud as an official or just at all. And I'm a food service worker and I'm very passionate about the work I do. And so this is called Unskilled Labor. Behold my barber's gilded scissors, a gift from a loyal client. Witness the planning, the economy of the razors on hooks, the barber's heights, the best ones worn handled, their storage trunk scattered with stickers of old bands resting in dead iPods and coffee table drawers. Come with me to the streets. Watch the house painter's pants match every few buildings he passes as if the city were trying to copy him. Witness the crisp folds the floor staff creased into every shirt. Watch your morning Rosetta pull. Watch your morning barista pull a Rosetta without looking. Witness the wrangling of the dog walker's 5 leashes, the 2-part movement of the city worker sticking litter. Come into my restaurant. Admire the server and their patient smile. Plant 2 knocks on the kitchen door, shout, and bear witness. Line cooks seasoned with years of oil and salt, working so smooth they've made it a dance. Clogs 2-stepping while sauce whips a dish. The Sioux Millie rocking a metal bowl into a busbin. The clang of the skillets to clear the crusted rice in time from the beat coming from the phone, propped into metal 6-pan on top of the reach-in. See a hand reach back and be given a spatula it did not ask for. Watch the dishwasher replace the glasses in the blink of an eye while she is FaceTiming her niece. It looks like nothing short of telepathy. The slide through narrow spaces like magnets, all of which are holding a knife, and still conversation flows. Someone just sold a sculpture. Someone has a paper to write. Someone was up until 3 a.m. at their other job, performing a whole different dance, a symphony of second nature movements, muscle memorized like their country is a fatigue mat, and they have mapped every corner. I only dream of labor if I can make it beautiful. So I slice every scallion like a gift wrapped ribbon and roll my eyes at every customer who taps their foot. Skill is love. And do you? Love? Show me yours. Your skill. Walk me through the moments of your day I wouldn't see otherwise. I want to see your method for cleaning a bathroom the quickest, your filing system, your best customer service voice. Or do you go home to a sparkling kitchen someone else cleans? Do you eat food someone else cooks? Do you watch shows someone else writes? Do you use programs someone else codes? Do you attend meetings someone else schedules? What do? You take and you hold what you take. And what a skill. Being handed things. Such talent in holding. I don't know, I'll do a couple more. I have no idea how long I've been up here, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm really just sending it. We're in the third part. Here's one about trans vampires.
Yeah.
Called Ode to the Mirror. We can see our reflections. Humans just can't see what we see. We become insular. The act of lonelying is to have a myth no one will get close enough to let you dispel. I don't want his blood. I want something in it. But we try so hard to be untragic, we pick the next easiest thing, a terror in the night. Reject the old silver and opt for black. I sit wide and smoke for the rasp and get too bold to hide. Why do you think I keep saying I don't gamble with sunlight? I keep hearing things. I take selfies in bathrooms I could die in and keep doing my makeup on the train. I have to limit my futures based on where the corners are darkest. Nobody can see me because no one is looking. I want to be that dramatic. I want to say I inject a lineage of man into my skin every week to stop myself from drinking my own risk, but I knew I had the choice. To appear in everyone's background or keep living my own kind of quiet sin with the rest of my species, but I know, no matter what kind of light I walk into, I live, even after I know. Matt, which is the one you wanted to hear? Is the sacrilege or the looping longhand?
The one you just did was the one.
That was the one. Should I do one out of the book? Should I do the fucking Pagliacci poem right now? This is new shit. I'm gonna end on this. And then Oh God, this is a really strange poem. Are we all familiar with the myth of Pagliacci? Pagliacci, okay. A man walks to the doctor, whatever the doctor, he says, "Doctor, I'm really depressed." The doctor is like, "I have the perfect cure for you. There's this clown in town and he's so funny, he's gonna cure you right up. His name is the Great Pagliacci." And the man says, "But doctor, I am Pagliacci." This is called the Great Pagliacci, and then I'm gonna call up Liv. What they don't tell you about becoming the person you want to see in the world is that it's lonely. You get scrappy and bolder. You stick to a code. You love with absolution. You say what you mean. You collage inspiration into mosaic. You get a car and you drive it around. You saw a gap and you filled it. And sometimes it feels like it's just you in there, in that hole, with a blank screen, books and dishes strewn about the house, eating meals out of jars en route to those things you wanted to see in the world, to the places that afford you those meals, the places you enter and create and wonder how you can be kindest that day while kids like you are dying in bathrooms and your calendar overlaps with the things you want to see, and then there is a genocide happening and you are waking up early and staying up late and democracy is collapsing and you are holding your time out like a rubber band around your body. No consider Pagliacci appears in the poem. Pagliacci hands the speaker a flower. The speaker takes it with trepidation. It is just a flower. Hey, come on, you ever give someone a flower who wasn't expecting it? You ever come upon a flower, you bring a flower somewhere and you see someone you sort of know or someone who looks like they need it, and you just come up and you just give them a flower. I light them up every time. Enough about that. That's not even my real name. This isn't my real face. Not my real shoe size. Hey, I got you. All right, listen, okay, that doctor, not a good doctor. We know this. But that I don't mind so much. No, here's my problem. If he thought jokes could cure depression, why didn't he become a clown? Why did he sit in that chair and refer everyone to my show instead of putting his own thing on? Just learn a couple jokes from me. What they don't tell you about becoming the person you want to see in the world is that it's more than one person. It always is. There isn't time in a day to fix a world despondent, full of bad doctors. There never was. Not alone. Pagliacci leaves the poem. What they don't tell you about becoming the person you want to see in the world is that it takes time for others to join. But you gotta believe they will. It'll be radio silence for years and no one is returning the energy you're giving, and then a note will come through the mailbox of your body. You'll have one conversation, you'll see a congratulations out of the corner of your eye, or some kid just shows up and says you're their favorite poet. Here. Take it. Thanks, y'all. You have one more reader tonight. You have one more reader tonight, and then books will be vended, and then conversation will be had. If anyone's ever in Boston, come to my show. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And if you're not in Boston, you just do things in New York, tell me about them, and maybe I can come through next time I see my family again. But anyways, thank you all for listening to me. You have one final reader. I'm gonna read this bio. I'm so fucking excited for this poet, y'all. This poet was a friend at Union Square Slam, which is the show I used to come to here. That was a really, really beautiful, welcoming space. Liv Mammone is an editor and poet from Long Island. Her poetry has appeared with Button Poetry, the Poetry Foundation, the Medical Journal of Australia, and in many other places. In 2017, she competed for Union Square Slam as the first disabled woman to be on a New York National Poetry Slam. She was also a finalist in the Capturing Fire National Poetry Slam in 2017. Forgot about that one. She has edited multiple books across genres. A Brooklyn Poet Fellow and Zooglossio Fellow. She's currently an editor at Game Over Books. In 2022, hers was one of the top 10 most read poems at Split This Rocks Poetry Database, The Quarry, and her first collection is forthcoming from Game Over Books in 2025. Follow her on Instagram at Mammone Liv. Please give it up for Liv, everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna adjust it down some all the time. Sorry. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, great. Good. We're gonna do a little feng shui. Just give me a second.
done a reading with my crutches on since like, I don't even, high school, maybe. We're getting what these are going. All right, we're leaving. No, that's okay. I have to use them to get back down. All right. Oh my God, it's so good to be back in this space, everybody. Oh my God. I remember when the walls said nosegay in fluorescent tape. Oh my God. So as Myles said, I used to compete here in this space with Union Square Slam, and it's so emotional to be back here. I learned a lot here as a writer, and some of my favorite poets have been here in this room. It's so exciting. So my book is going to be called Fire in the Waiting Room. If you like what you hear tonight, you can pre-order it. The pre-order link is live. It's not coming out until next summer, but maybe you'll get excited. You're gonna leave sad. I'm so sorry. There's all this like cute, gay, horny shit happening, and then it's like they get the cripple up here, and everything gets real sad, real fast. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're gonna leave sad. So let me see.
All right.
So this is called Venus de Milo Answers, and it is inspired by a quote that I saw on tumblr.com, which is a place where good ideas go to die. Destroying historic buildings to make a few people happy is stupid, period. ADA supporters are no better than the Taliban destroying Buddha statues in Afghanistan. Tumblr feminist on why she hates the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Oh my God.
I hope that person's really doing well. Better things for her, don't you guys?
Yeah. Oh.
Venus de Milo answers. Sweet child, it's not your fault. The scope of your creation did not take as long as the journey of a worm up the small of my back. I watched the slow crumble of my own pointer under such a quilt of dirt that I still speak in the syntax of spiders. Centuries later, I'm still fluent in aphid. You have not yet lain so shattered that things begin crawling in your eyelashes. You know nothing of age. Once I was righted, I learned new music in French and composed in time to a sea I listened to but never saw. My rescuers did the best they could with what they had. You can't know the million ways one must be moved, the changes we make on our migrations through the world, just as I cannot know where my missing limbs are now, or if I ever had them. I live in a place made of stairs now. These rooms called museum are all belly and spinal column, and all day breathing people move like schools of fish. At night, those of us that are whole take tours and talk with others on different floors, and those suspended on walls. But for me, balance is a memory. The others speak of a moving room that can lower one out into open air, and I wish to stroll the bank of that river my torso heard from inside a crate. I wish to buy a shawl and drape it over these shoulders that unfinished, as if they were a forgotten thought. But heavy is the descent, and my swaying step is leaden. I cannot afford another broken nose, dear. My beauty is all I have. You understand. Little heart, your respect for what has passed is admirable, but stone feels no pain. What is built is meant to change, to crack and hollow out. A room's only wish is to hold the echo of voices. Would you rob it of more? Would you rob me of more gazes to meet? The chance to stare back at bodies that mirror mine. I always forget when I do that poem to do my little rant about the Louvre in Paris. So the Louvre only has one elevator, and it takes you from the basement to the first level. And then the only other way to get around the Louvre are these marble staircases that are the steps are like this wide. So you can imagine the fun that was had. So that's a piece of context for that poem that I always forget to tell people about. This one is a New York poem. It's called On the Subway for the First Time. The train is a creature that moves like water. It has no eyes, only a sharp mouth that closes on those too slow. All around is accident. All around is climb and slip and fall, and that current below that could kill you, but you're riding now, so the car is a dragon, and the rail is a bolt of lightning, a storm under its wings, and you on its back, or the car is a wave, and the rail its tide, and you are Jesus walking on blue salt. Jesus was very like a disabled woman. You know body as miracle. You know the gorging eyes of onlookers. You want to make your body miracle when it wants only holding. So many people have called you inspiration like it was your name. You forget you can inspire yourself. Your tongue, brain, heart can be organs of praise. Your crutches are not ugly. They held fast through clinging litter and someone's urine. Your hamstrings so many times cut open, took on 4 flights of stairs. No one cares that the elevator in this station hasn't worked in 6 months. No one cares enough to give you a seat. Praise even the anonymity of how they turn their faces away, because your feet have never been fast, but were faultless enough to carry you over that gap that holds all your terror before the doors closed. They will carry you up until the sun hits your face and on into a room where people wait for you. Only you can know what it took to stand here, making this boring, transitory bullet your altar. That work is worth singing about. You stand, your knees a shaking, crooked shout. This next one, I'm so glad that there's a theme going of like get queerness and monster fucking. I'm so delighted that that is a thing that's happening tonight. It's delightful. This is a poem that I really hope Josh Savory lets me put in the book, because it was written after the manuscript was submitted, and I just really hope that I don't have to fight with him about whether or not I get to put this in. This one is called In My 30s, I Become Obsessed with Werewolves, and it's for Seth Green. I didn't know I cradled my own monster. Over the black and white movie soundtrack crackle, I didn't hear the sound of tendons shredding. We rewrote what should have been a mythology of skin. The stories demand, who will you hurt? Not how were you hurt? The skin is the walls of a plague house. Here are joints transforming. Here is me disappearing to myself. My worst fear is my own body. My body won't do me the kindness of a quick death. I am watching the sky. Evolution didn't account for this, so I am proof of God, which makes me God. I am hard to look at, which also makes me God. The planet yanks me forward. It is ripping itself open. The sky is a wall between me and all I was. The stars are pustules. The moon is an infection. Clouds bulge spit and blood. I, inside out, empty. I, palace of nerve endings. Every month I get less and less human. I look so young. I am chasing the sun. I am not dying. I grind my teeth against the howl and try not to pee in doorways. I refuse to die. Everyone standing upright baits my rage. I eat decay. I am inside the nursery rhyme. I am not real. Relegated bad dream. I didn't ask for this. Inside the breaking, I have no name, no past, and no one loves me. Inside the pain, your love does nothing. There is only the hunger to spread what I am. My teeth will make you understand. I am just on the other side of your good flesh. Can you see my face in the strands of my saliva? Daylight won't last forever. I wish to infect you all with my unstoppable dying.
Nice.
So that one is in this new anthology that came out 2 weeks ago. It's called Listen to Your Skin. It's an anthology of poets who have read at the Listen to Your Skin series in Denver, which we have online readings now. So if you want to be a part of that amazing place, it's Listen to Your Skin, an anthology of queer and self-love, which don't we all need that? I think we all need that. So you can buy a copy of that if you're interested. What am I gonna do? That's like, okay, this is a good one. Okay. This sentence is pretty good. I did a good job with this.
Yeah.
This should say that more.
As I was like sweating, having a panic attack, putting the set list together this morning, because I haven't done an in-person reading in, I don't know, 2 years, 2.5 years. So it's fine. We're fine. This is called A Crip Is, and it's after Tara Hardy, after Roma Ray. Tara Hardy is an incredible disabled poet. If you don't know Tara, you should look into their work because they are an amazing person. A crip is a bitch. A bitch is a war. A crip is a cry. A fight is a tool. Fight, cry. A crip is a weapon, necessary. A crip is necessary. A crip cry is necessary song, cry. A crip bitch cries. No one wants to hear bitch and moan. To moan means fear. Crip means fear. Fear is a stone on the spine, the weight of a life. Stone spine bitch. A spine is a tool. Witch weighing life. Scales, a monster with scales. Crip is a monster. Burn the witch. War cry. Burn. A burn can crown. Crown is a weight. A crip is not a weight, but is crowned. A crip bitch earns a crown. Bone against bone. Makes a song. Witch bone crown. Try to burn a crip bitch down.
Wow. Well,
Okay, all right. This one is the one that is in the Split This Rock database, which is, I love this poem. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. I love this poem. It's old, but I love it. Most of these poems are poems that my editor wants me to cut out of the book, by the way, and I'm not
whoa.
doing any of that. Not doing any of those things. Yeah, one of the things I want everyone here to know is, like, as an editor, you're totally allowed not to listen to your editor. Like, that's totally fine. It's fine. Like, I just want to tell all of everyone there. Also, if you have a manuscript that you want somebody to look at and you want maybe not to listen to,
Nice.
I'm here. It's fine. If you have anything, you should discuss it with me at the end of my set. And I'm yammering, and now my phone is not working. Okay. This is called, oh wait, let me turn the mic because that's, whoop, there we go. That's better. This is called Surgery Psalm. Ready yourself for starving the night before, for the urine yellow soap that will soften your skin like a ripening pear, for the sunrise drive. Ready your ears for the moans of the woman drooling in a sling in the waiting room. She's you. Ready your ass for its exposure in the paper gown. Open your throat for the codeine, veins for the saline. Ready the backs of your hands for the needle, for your iPod dying while you wait strapped to a gurney with 4 hours to go. Ready your mouth to be masked for anesthetic. See your voice disappear into that sweet ether. Breathe deep. Shut up. Ready your eyelids to play projector to your nightmares. Paint the inside of your brain fluorescent white and ready your mind for the medicinal misremembering. Be aware that when you wake, your bed will be your world, a paper boat on a hazy Hudson. Ready your eyes for the nurse's smiles. They rack your frame worse than when the meds wear off. For your parents sleeping hunchbacked in plastic chairs somewhere between jailers and mourners. For your rest to be ruined with the retching of your roommate. Ready your chest for the heaving. Stop sleeping completely. Maybe you'll write more poems. Ready your knees. They will transform into melting candles. Your ankles to nuts and bolts. Your hips to clenched fists. Your calves into riots. Ready your ribs to collapse around your fruit pit heart. The impulse to starve will stay for years. Ready your lips to say endless. I'm fine. Ready a new smile, all predatory teeth. What gifts will your loved ones shower on you now? Stuffed cats and fairy dolls will no longer do woman thing. Ready a cackle instead of laughter. Try and recite the questions future lovers will ask, surveying you naked. Imagine their eyes slitted, critical. Say freak until it's the name of a dog that licks your face. You won't feel hands plunging into you. These doctors, your gods, discussing their weekend over the red rind of your exposed spine. Instead, loosen your flesh just one more time, just a little more machine, and we can make you human. Okay, so after I've bummed you out with all of that, you're actually not going to leave sad. This is like the one hopeful poem in the collection, and I chose to close.
That was helping there.
That was hope in there, right? One of my editors read this last poem and said, "Could we get a little bit more hope in the manuscript?" And I was like, "No, what do you mean? Have you met me? No." But to talk about that a little bit, so a lot of these poems were written over the last 8 years as my body was deteriorating from a muscular disorder called cerebral palsy, which we've been told by our doctors is not degenerative. Yeah, okay. And I recently have discovered a treatment that has lowered my chronic pain by 80%. So I'm getting really a lot of the help I need. It's the reason why I'm standing here before you tonight. I would not have been able to come out in this weather even 6 months ago. So I'm so happy to be here with all of you. And now every day is going to be like this next poem. Prior to these treatments, I really needed warm weather in order to function. So summer was really, really important to me. I was bedridden for 6 to 8 months out of the year, and then sort of May, June would get here, and I would finally be able to have the life that I wanted. And now I get to have it all the time. And won't you celebrate with me? So this is a poem about that first day when it breaks 50 degrees and I could get out of bed. This is called First Dress. Summer, when you haven't had it, is like a revenge. Angel Nutbeast. This morning, 8 o'clock doesn't feel like rock slide. Light is lemon lime through your eyelids. Warmth butters your joints. Each limb swings like wind chime. In the garden, columbine and narcissus kazoo your name. This is the promise the earth keeps. Why die? The dress is the color of a prescription bottle, but pancakes, not painkillers, are your fill. You dance through the kitchen without underwear, won't muffle the flock of birds between your legs. You're an amber breezing banner of your own right to be alive, an upside down tiger lily. You walk proud and crooked as a heron for surviving another ice harvest. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Myles. Forgot, I didn't really plan out how I was gonna like get them back up off the board.
That's good.
It's performance art. It's should have crossed around the other way.
Oh, here,
I
I can go back here. All right, folks. Give it up again for your 3 readers tonight. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for hanging out. There are books for sale, and I'm gonna hand it off once again. Oh my God. I'm gonna hand it off to Greg again to close us out. Thank you again so much for being here, for supporting me while I am on my little tour outside of the Boston.
Yay. I actually have nothing to add. The books are for sale. But thank you for coming. Thank you to everyone who joined us online, and buy some books.